But welcome, it's your friendly neighborhood badger here, and I'm back to talk about my Blight Ravaged Map experiment. Now, I said that I was going to be doing 50 of these maps, but we've run into a little bit of a problem, so I'm ending the experiment here at 30 maps. The problem that we ran into is I kind of bought the market out on the Blight Ravaged maps that I wanted to run that had really good layouts, because on bad layouts, it's a lot easier to fail them. So I'm actually ending this at 30 Blight maps. Now we're going to talk about everything that I did to, get all of this currency, but mostly about the profits and the revenue and everything like that and what dropped. I released a video fairly recently about how to actually run these Blight Ravaged maps the best way that you possibly can, in my opinion. So you can go and check that out. It's in the link down below, or it's my previous video. But today it's all about these profits, right? So let's talk about profits right off the bat, or revenue, shall I say. We're going to jump over to my stash here, and I'm going to show you everything that I collected in 30 Blight Ravaged maps. Now, these Blight Ravaged maps were Haunted Mansion, Crimson Temple, and City Square, but mostly the first two, Haunted Mansion and Crimson Temple, because of the indoor layouts, the choke points that you can create really strong areas where monsters almost can never get through. That being said, I still failed quite a few maps, and we're going to calculate that at the end of all of this as well, potentially. I think I failed about 10 to 11 maps. Let's say 11 maps that I failed. And we'll calculate that into the cost as well. So even with failing like 30% of the maps, you can still see the profit that we're getting out of this. But this is one full tab right here. And then we've got almost another full dump tab right here as well. We'll jump over to Exilence next in a moment to talk about all of the profit there. But some big notables are an Aegis Aurora right here, which is about 1x. 3 flat Exalted Orb drops in the 30 maps, so, one every 10 map. And then another big one, a Doctor card. Now, this is definitely not something that should be put into the actual stats. I'm still going to include it, but then we're going to talk about what it is without this, because this is 100% an outlier, statistical outlier or anomaly, because this is really rare. I dropped this from div cards, the div card Blight Cysts. You can also drop this from the jewelry Blight Cysts as well, very rarely. It can drop any div cards related to jewelry, or it can drop Headhunters or Mage Bloods themselves as well. But I got this from a div card one. So I was very lucky on that. This is about 15 exalts right now, but without this, we're still going to talk about the profit, right? So that is basically all the loot. You can see a lot of oils right here as well. We're going to jump to Exilence next to talk about exactly what this looks like. And right up the top here, you can see these two tabs is just over 5,000 chaos, right? So that's around about, I think, it's close to like 42 exalts or something like that right now. Or maybe closer to 40, just in terms of how exalts are sitting, 127. Yeah, it's about 40 exalts. But this is the revenue right here. This is everything that, is, that was got from the maps themselves without the cost of the maps themselves actually in play. Now, if we were to take the Doctor out of this, obviously that would drop down by, a lot, almost 2,000 chaos. However, still made a lot of profit. Obviously, the exalts are up there. The stack decks are a really big one. Almost 300 stack decks. They go for about a chaos a pop. But if you're selling them at around 300, you can probably sell them for higher than this, around 1.5, because people really like to buy in bulk. Now, another big thing to talk about Blight Maps as well is the oils. Exilence Next is an amazing program to give you a general guideline of, what you actually drop in a map. However, some of this stuff you can't actually sell or won't sell for the price that it lists it at. A big thing is the oils, right? So things like the sepia and amber oils and everything like that. Exilence Next actually prices these at 0.5 chaos each oil. They are much more closer to, 1 to 10 or even 1 to 15, 1 to 20. So you do have to go into the settings and you have to go into the prices, search for oils, and make your own prices for the ones that it's really pricing wrong. So I have done that. I have balanced this. But another disclaimer, this is not my actual flat chaos in my stash right now. I obviously would have to sell all of this, but I can do this in bulk through things like TFT, or I can make, my stash tabs public and I can sell it through there. So obviously it's going to take a bit more time to do this, right? This is 30 maps, but let's jump over to a spreadsheet right here and talk about, you know, everything else that happened. So obviously I've listed everything, all of the maps that I've done here, all the way up to map number 30. Now, for the most part, I started just experimenting, but I quickly came across Crimson Temple and Haunted Mansion as the best ones possible, in my opinion. And they ranged anywhere from 15 chaos to, I think I spent 30 chaos on one of them, did I? Well, pretty much up to 28 chaos, right? Really depends on how the market's going. And as I said, at the moment, the market is kind of dead for the maps that I want to buy. They are now selling for anywhere from 40 to 50 chaos for the most part. I could keep going with this, but it would take me like half an hour to get 2 maps, and then I'd have to run them, right? The oils themselves ranged from anywhere from 4 chaos in total to 12 chaos in total. But the most common oils that I decided to use, which was Crimson, Azure, and Amber. So this gave us a total of 42 lucky chests and 60% reduced cost of building towers. Because on Blight Ravaged maps, you can do 9 total oils with a maximum of 3 oils of the same. So 3 Crimson, 3 Azure, or 42 lucky chests, and then 3 Amber for 60% reduced cost of building towers. I found that this was the best in terms of cost to profit ratio, you know, let me know if you're running these types of maps and what kind of oils you use, because there's a lot of different ways to go about it. So the average cost in total to run one of these maps was 33 chaos on average. And the total cost for the 30 maps was just over 1,000 chaos, right? So right now, you know, 1,000 chaos is about 8 exalted orbs or something like that. And then over here, our total revenue, well, you know, it's a little bit different because this spreadsheet is calculating the total revenue based on each individual snapshot I took from every single map. So you can see revenue and profit from every single map. I took snapshots of them, but it's similar, 4934, and then into the 5018, you know, because of inflation or deflation or everything like that. The total profit is being 3,930, right? If we were to go the total profit without the without Doctor, we could probably take something like, hang on, let me just take this. Whoopsies, not average weighted. Hang on, let me just take this one, copy that, and then some of these ones. Oopsies, we did a double brackets accidentally. We'll delete that brackets and delete that brackets. There we go. So without the Doctor, total profit without Doctor was 2,353 chaos, which is still pretty good, close to 20 exalts right there, over the 30 maps. And that's kind of emulated in the average profit per map right here, and the average profit without Doctor. So 81 chaos average profit without a Doctor, and with the Doctor, obviously that bumps it up a lot more. But don't look too much about that. In basically conclusion for all of this, Blight Ravaged maps are really, really profitable. Now, if we were to look at, say for example, the 11 maps that I failed, right? So what would that be? 334, for example. 334 chaos for those maps that I failed and I didn't really get any loot from, right? We take these 334 chaos, we basically just minus that from the total profit without the Doctor, right? So it's still 2,000 chaos without the Doctor drop, even for failing 30% of the map. The last thing we do need to talk about is time investment. This took me in total, because I also failed a lot of maps, in total around about 9 to 10-ish hours. Because the Blight maps themselves, not only do they take about 6 minutes to run their duration, but then you've got to kill all the rest of the straggling mobs. Some of the bosses are extremely tanky and take another 1 to 2 minutes to kill, just standing there and waiting. And then you're picking up all of the loot. So on average, the maps are going to take, 10 to 12 to 15 minutes each. So it does take quite a long time. Please consider that if you're going to be doing this. It might not be the strongest and fastest way to make currency in the best way possible, but it is an extremely good way to make currency in Trade League. If you're not in Trade League, these are still really, really good to get a massive bulk of things like your oils, your flat currency, your fusings, your chaos orbs. Sextants is really good as well. Well, not that good. We got 33 of them, but it's still okay. You know, chromatic orbs, scourings, any of your basic currencies, it's really, really good for that. You know, sacrifice fragments as well. It generates a ton of sacrifice fragments. We are also using sacrifice fragments in the map device. You know, one of each, and then putting the map in the middle here, because that also generates quantity. But yeah, that's basically how it all is. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're going to test out Blight or Blight Ravaged. Blight itself is still super profitable, Blight Maps, and not the Ravaged version, but the Ravaged is just a little bit more. Let me know if you want me to experiment with just normal Blight Maps and then compare the two to see what the profit per hour, all this kind of stuff is. I'm considering that as well, doing another 30 of those, because hey, there is an endgame grind for, wait, where is it? This one? No, this one? Yeah, there is an endgame grind for completing Blight Maps right here. Why does it say 29 right there? Maybe one of them I almost completed and then actually failed. But anyway, it's basically 30 maps. It should, one of these I must have, oh no, the very last one actually. Yeah, the very last one I actually failed. So we didn't actually complete that one, but I still put it in the profit there with a -1 chaos profit. But you know, overall, still very, very good. Funny way to end right there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed this content, let me know in the comments down below. As I said, hit that sub button. Come watch me live on twitch.tv/thisisbadger. And yeah, catch you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, Badger is out.